And he's back. It's Dr. Faustus again. The B Text from 1616, where Marlowe's been dead 23 years. This is the text that actually gets reprinted with that famous illustration, the one that's on your penguin collection, the kind of woodcut of the magician summoning devils. That shows up with the B text in 1616. The B text is longer. We have more clowning around, especially. We have lots of small changes, especially with the good and evil angel. We probably have we certainly have some religious changes, changes that make a difference in kind of the emphasis of which kind of Christian theology here, though people debate exactly which way it leans. Um, and in any case, it remains still a little murky. Things are this play has clearly been popular for a long time. It's worth revising. There was a belief for a long time, for most of the 20th century, that the B text came first and the A text is a shorter pirated version. That the B text would be closer to what Marlowe wrote. This idea might seem strange to you. Why would the longer one come first? As often, arguments about Marlowe get driven by arguments about Shakespeare. There are a bunch of Shakespeare plays that, like Faustus, come out twice, first in a shorter version and then in a longer version. Various scholars, for reasons I won't go into here because this is Marlowe class, not Shakespeare class, were very, very invested in the longer ones being the real Shakespeare and didn't like the idea of Shakespeare revising. For whatever reason, they did not like the idea of Shakespeare revising. It offended their late romantic sensibilities about origin, and it all happened to happen at once in an organic way, dude, like just all flows. So they would argue that the second editions were always the first ones, the ones the author wrote, and the earlier shorter ones were bootlegs. I don't sympathize with that. That seems to me to put things in the wrong order. It seems to me pretty reasonable that there would be a shorter version and then a longer version that got revised and expanded if this play was popular enough to keep demand up over years and years, as seems to have happened with Faustus. Um, in any case, we have a receipt. A theater owner records paying two actors in the Admiral's Men, the company that owned Faustus, for additions to Dr. Faustus in 1604, 10 years after the earlier text was, or actually the year the earlier text was printed, in 11 years after Marlowe had kind of shuffled off this mortal coil. So there's a reasonable hypothesis that this is what the B text is. This is Bird and Raleigh have added more stuff for their acting company and extended the play. In his routine, this theater operator keeps a notebook with and a ledger for a while, and he routinely pays for plays to be expanded. He pays for additions to plays. So something is new here, something is larger, but times have changed. And is this Marlowe himself? Ooh, no, but probably the A text isn't quite either because there's that Dr. Lopez joke in both of them. Focus on what's new here. There's more joking around. There's more kidding around. The emphasis of some of the religious emphasis has changed a little bit. Stuff with the old man, stuff with the good and evil angel. These are places to look. Faustus himself. Look, ask yourself how much Faustus himself changes, and if he doesn't change, what is changing?